So when we receive the raw plate, we're doing it through a purchase order, zero value, because it's custom supplied. And we give each plate their own lot code, lot number, lot. It's interesting that Epicor calls it lot number, but they have letters in it. So we're using the attributes and some of the attribute fields to capture that PO, line number, heat, slab serial. A lot of common stuff. And then we print a custom tag, place it on the plate. Then we have one job per plate to blast it clean. We've got a giant machine that runs through, blast top and bottom at the same time. And then the source inspector will come in and check that plate. And they will provide us what is called an SAP number. The SAP, yes, does stand for software SAP. Our customer uses SAP as their ERP system. And their lot number ties back to the different plates that they approved that day. So now we put that plate into inventory, and it's a different part number. And it is lot track. And the lot number is the job that made it. All standard functionality so far, nothing custom, other than tag. That was it. These plates go into two different things. One, they're just giant rectangles right now, and we cut rectangles. And by the way, a square is an even-sided rectangle. I didn't know that. And we ship these cut pieces to other suppliers that go into the customer. So we needed to track that. So we needed to apply the end customer's PO to that supplier, put it on the job. So we didn't want to have to try and calculate this and keep track of it on a spreadsheet and do all that kind of stuff. So we reached out to Encompass and said, hey, can you help us with something? Encompass is our partner, our Epicor partner. And they brought in a pretty powerful product configurator guy. This is a very simple product configurator. That guy's very good. So we tell it what type of boat it's going into, what grade of the material is, and the customer sends us this requirement on a spreadsheet. Interestingly, they're using SAP, but they send it on a spreadsheet. So we put in this row number off the spreadsheet, and then we say where we're going to ship it to, what's the PO number, what's the thickness, what's the cut width, cut length, and then hit a button and it calculates, and the speed of the thickness that it's cutting, so we know how much time in the manufacturing process for the operation. It will pick what the approved plate number should be, doesn't know the thickness and the grade, so it finds approved plate number. And we accept this, and it changes the part number on the sales order on the fly, the description, stores everything for the order job wizard. So when we create a job, and all this information goes over into the job of where it's shipping to, our costs, estimated costs, and it also selects the ship to address on the sales order release. So we ship it to the right spot. And that information is on the job tracker. So the team that's cutting knows that we're cutting 10 pieces out of this plate, 3 are going here, 3 are going here, and they stack them by location that they're shipping to. So it works out pretty well. So then we get into the other part that we make, and that's the beam. Each beam itself is serialized, and it only has 2 components, the web and the flange. The webs and flanges are also serialized. And each web and flange profile only has one job and one plate. So if we can get 17 webs out of one plate, that's the size of the job. If we need 170, we have 10 different jobs. Because we want to make it real simple moving forward to be able to find the traceability. So it's one plate per job to make the webs or findings. If the plate could make 17 and we only need 10, we only use a partial of that plate. And we keep the rest of the plate in inventory to use on another job later. So it's never more than one plate. So the web and flange serial number gets us to the job, which gets us to the approved plate lot number that was issued to it, which gets us to the raw plate that was used on that job, which then gets us back to our customer requirements of heat, slab, serial, PLA. We're doing lower level matching for the serial numbers. We got one beam and it has a serial number, and we have a web and a flange. At the time that they're fitting these up, you do a lower level match of that serial number to this serial number. Nice, solid, good traceability. But you have to go through 7 screens in Epicor to do a lower level match. Exactly. And we got to do it twice. one for the web, one for the flange. So we knocked on Encompass's door again and said, come on, we got to do something here. So we came up with an idea and we put it in place. So all we do is scan the job number of the beam serial number. So it's the beam that we're making, that's the serial number that is scanned first. They're handhelds. And it is a kinetic screen. It knows the part number of the job, and then we scan the serial number of the web or flange. It validates that it's in the inventory, that's never been matched to this, and then does all the lower level matching. So 2 scans per part. A lot easier than 14 screens. The other thing we have to do is, in the routing, there's an inspection step. We have to check 9 different dimensions, 5 spots, if the beam is 30 feet long. 45 data points to collect. That's a lot of handwriting, a lot of rekeying into some Excel spreadsheet that they were doing before, or in the Access database. So we linked into inspection plan and specifications. So each beam has its own spec. You assign that to the job. And this was originally built in Classic. And we have, of course, switched everything going in from Classic to Kinetic. The product configurators converted just fine. That earlier product configurator that I showed converted fine. This one did not. The quality configurator does not convert to a screen, and it made it one line. If you can imagine somebody on the shop floor trying to keep track of 48 spots along while they're collecting data. Not good. Not good. So, reach out to Encompass again and said, hey, what do we got to do something here? So they helped me. They started on this and then let me go finish it because it's so laborious. It's just the same thing over and over again. Application Studio, we built. It's great. When the beams are done off the job, they go in inventory, standard job receipt inventory functionality. And we did turn on the auto receipt function at the end, so when we report the very last operation, it automatically puts it in inventory, and it does do it with the serial number. Because at the operation, you have to tell the serial number user. process that they were doing before in the Access database was building what they call the stack. They would stack about 20 beams together, bang them up, and then they move the stack around. They gave each stack a number. Sounds like PCID, so I didn't know how to use it. Encompass helped me. So they spent a little time with me, and we went through some training. Boom, got up to speed pretty quick on it. And we put 20 beams into a PCID, and we use it to ship. And we also use it later to move around. And that's all custom. But this function right here, putting it into the PCID and shipping it, is standard. So when we move several stacks on a truck from our location to our storage, from manufacturing location to storage, that's when we do the ship and place. And we do a customer ship. Pick the PCID, pick the customer, and ship. Now, there's customization behind this screen. It takes each one of those serial numbers and the PCID and puts it into a UD table. And it puts in the sales order, the beam serial number, the description, warehouse, line off the sales order, all of that information that is there in the customer shipment builds this table. And this is how we know how many beams we still have on our problem. And by doing the customer shipment, we recognize the revenue. So, I should go back one. No, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I want to go back. So now, customer calls and they say, I want 3 of these, 4 of those, 6 of them. So the team goes out and they're scanning and selecting those serial numbers from this UD table and building a miscellaneous shipper. The miscellaneous shipper has been customized in the background. As they select those serial numbers, it marks the UD table that it's assigned to a shipper, and there's a shipper number assigned to it. Then we stage it, physically ship it, mark it as shipped, then it marks the UD table as shipped. If somebody made a mistake and they wanted to remove that, you can unstage it, and you can delete that serial number, and it'll uncheck the box. So this now allows us to track how many we have, when did we originally do the acknowledgement of the shipment, and here is the new shipment, the physical shipment, and what we still have. And the customer does occasionally ask us, hey, what do you still have? We want to reconcile what we showed you had or what we had. So we send them a file. Dump that to an Excel and send it along. So our full traceability is a miscellaneous pack ID. That'll give us the customer pack ID number from that UD table. Gives us the sales order line and PO. From the customer pack ID, we can get the beam serial number. From the beam serial number, we get through lower level matching the web and flange serial numbers. From the web and flange serial number, we get that approved plate lot number, code lot. From that, we get the blasting job, because lot number is the blasting job. And from that, we get the raw plate that was issued to that blasting job, and we get our customer PO line, heat, serial, slacker. That's the full traceability. And there are times when the customer will come in for an audit and say, we would like to see all the raw plate information for this packing slip. So we pull it up and that's it. fast presentation. So I got another half hour. Any questions? Yeah.
So why don't you call a serial number earlier in the process? If it's one lot per plate, at that point, why not call it?
We're taking part of the plate. We're taking part of the plate.
Okay.
So if you have a raw plate serialized, you can't take a piece of it. You can't split it up. Serial number is one item, one thing only, and not split. Lots you can't. That's why we do that. Yeah.
Your inspection plan, did that require you to have the enhanced volume module?
Yes. Yes, I believe it does.
Are you guys actually using miscellaneous shipment entry to ship out?
Yes.
Why is that not customer shipment?
Well, we did the customer shipment in the beginning, and that tied to the sales order so that you could ship it and recognize the sale. Miscellaneous shipper doesn't do anything. It doesn't connect to a system. And anything, you don't need to use customer shipment again. I can't ship it from stock or from a job. So that's why we wanted miscellaneous shipment.
So you're using your custom function to pull things out. And
Exactly. Behind it's the front end of the miscellaneous shipper with customization and hooks in the back that are reaching into the UD table. And pulling the information out of the UD table and then pushing it back in when we do confirmation.
Are you pushing it to different GL accounts based on the customer, or is it just a sale, a general sale?
That miscellaneous shipper is really doing nothing. He has nothing to do with, not doing anything with finance. Just the customer. The customer shipment, when we do it, it hits all of the normal standard functionality. Yep, the sales order line.
Yeah,
That's the customer shipment.
I know that miscellaneous does nothing, I was just curious why.
Yeah.
You guys went with that instead of.
Yeah, we had to have two different shippers, right? Or maybe this is why the French you were, yes, that's right.
But not physically shipped.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah.
So they can.
Customer doesn't really want the beams right away, because in most cases, we're building way ahead. Okay, and we're keeping our manufacturing process running. And we're building in, jobs of 100. Each boat has 16,000 beams on it. So we're running in quantities of 100 or 50, and they're taking 3 of these, 6 of those, 7 of those. And they allow us to bill when we complete, and when we're storing it, we're also charging a storage fee.
So you're between the last two steps, like when you do that miscellaneous shipment, you're breaking those original back IDs because you're picking different types of beams.
Yes. So when the beams went into the UD table, they went in by the customer pack ID. So there could be 50 or 100 on there, whatever we could fit on the trucks, goes down the joint. So it's one packing slip with all these different beams on it. So now the miscellaneous shipper, I'm picking this beam and this beam and this beam, and it could be different pack IDs. Original customer pack IDs. That was the toughest part to decide how we were going to do this. And we went back and forth with accounting and helped us talk through different logical steps. We do it this way, and we just stepped back and said, the cleanest way is to let Epicor do its normal functionality and build this table.
This is essentially after you do the customer shipment, customer own pictures.
Yeah.
Property.
Correct. And since it's still on our property, we still have liability for it, but there's some contract fee there. That's in fine.
Okay.
I'll refer you to that. Yeah.
Are the plates engraved with the lot number?
When they are from the middle, they are stamped. The heat slab and serial number is stamped on the plate when it comes into us. After that, we just tag it, and we clean the corner off, put that sticky tag on, half of it. We don't put the whole tag on the plate, put half on it. That's why you saw the lot number several times. That's what hangs off the side of the plate, so when we've got a stack of plates, you can still see it. Yeah.
Do you go inside or outside?
Inside.
Now that type is applied before the blasting.
It's both.
Uh,
There'll be one tag on it that is the original raw plate that came in, and we take the tag off, run it through the blasting machine, put the tag back on. Then, when it finishes, and it goes into stock, it's another tag. So there's two tags. One with all the information of the raw, and then the new lot number for the new plate. And we change plates because they are different things. It's the same physical piece of steel, but it is different. The first one is the raw plate. The second one is blasted, complete. It's got a little bit of labor into it, and it is source approved by the customer.
And the two, both of those block for both tie back to the original plate serial.
Yes. Both of them do not. The second one, the blasted plate number, is not tied directly to the information. That lot number ties to the job. The job ties to the lot number of the plate that was issued to it. That's the one that contains the raw information. And since we're doing one for one, we don't have a problem saying, well, which one is it? Because if you put two lot numbers of material onto a job, how do you know which one they find?
How do you handle a rejection?
Through the, we don't reject plates. They're all perfect. No. If the raw plate comes in and we notice some major defect to it, then we will do a non-conformance on inventory before it even gets into the process. If it's being blasted and the source inspector rejects it, it's a non-conformance on the operation. And the source inspection is an operation on the job. Then it goes through the normal, NC inspection process, DMR, accept the reject. And the same thing goes on with the webs and flanges, and the beams themselves. And there was one tricky thing on the beam. Since we track the beam serial number from the fit-up operation forward, if you write a non-conformance, you have to tell what serial number you do. Then you have to do a material, you have to process a material move request. It will not let you do the inspection portion without that move being done. Which is just too much. Yes.
Is this the only product that you guys make, these beams, or do you make other things?
Make a lot of
Do you have like other block control measures in place for your other products, or do they not require it?
lot numbers, yes, serial, no.
Okay. Are you just using like the basic core export functionality for that? How many units of these do you make or ship in a year?
This boat is 16,000 some beams, and it'll take us about 4 years to do. Almost finished. Third boat we've done.
A single boat? Are these tankers? Like
They're big boats.
cars?
Okay. All I can say is we're in the defense industry and it's big boats.
Is all material customer furnished?
Yes.
And does it ever carry any cost?
No. So what happens is, every time these things go into inventory, it's a standard cost, at zero. And it's, I can't remember exactly what or why, that would be a finance question. I'm not a finance.
I don't ask you.
Yeah, it's because we're expensive. No, we're not expensive. Each month, we do bill how many plates we blasted. And it's the plates that we have completed and put it into inventory. So we're billing them for the blaster. So when we put that plate into inventory, we don't want it to have any cost, because we are charging them for it earlier. And we don't want to have any carrying costs go with value on the plates. And we do on the webs and flange because they carry up into the beam, and the beam it goes into stock and then we ship it.
So you're just building the blasting as a service.
Yes,
That's interesting. Part of this building for,
yes.
well,
Yeah, there's storage fees for the raw plate, storage fees for finished plate, storage fees for finished beams.
So are you actually clocking labor to those jobs then?
Yes.
I'm tracking that? Or
Yes,
is it just-
those individual jobs that, do the blasting is the blasting job. Okay, and there's clock in and clock out on all those operations. But the storage fees for the plate storage, because we're moving it around. Every time we do move it around, somebody clocks in and clocks out that they've moved these different plates or these different beams. Moving them around. So, the other one thing I did miss is that the beam storage place. If you have to jump back to that screen. That was way in the beginning. There we go. So this handheld, AT&F handheld screen, you see there's the issue material one, that's the one I talked about. But you see there's also a serial move and a move PCIe. So I said earlier about we have the stacks that go over. They're in a PCIe, and that is one of the fields. So if somebody's taking 2 or 3 pieces out of the stack, they're using a serial number to move it to a new stack number, if they want to build a new stack number or PCIe. But that is just a number. It's in the UD table. It's not touching standard F protocol. They could give it their own number if they want. But it's also moving them. So as they in the warehouse of the beams and the stacks, they might want to move this stack from this location to this location. So they'll move a PCIe stack. And they just scan. PCIe number, it knows the current location, where am I moving it to? Where's the new location? Well, very simple. Yes?
So we've done chip plates before, but we need that second. So what we've done is we've done chip plates, and then immediately RMA in with no credit, and then ship back out, when it physically leaves, $0.
Yeah.
You need that second.
Yeah, that would be another way to do it. This is high volume, we have a lot.
Yeah.
Yes?
Handheld screen.
Zebra. Small, looks about the size of a phone. Small device.
And it's scanning off the paper or labels all the time?
Labels.
Done, okay.
Or a location on a wall. Yes,
What barcode font are you using?
they're QR codes.
Sure.
Always unknown. There are QR codes in some other areas of this. This is, I think, 3 of 9, data 339, data 39. Yeah, that's the font.
And you're printing them using Zebra?
They're printed out on, yes, small Zebra printers. No small.
So you're not using the report style or RDDL form?
It is a, I believe it's a BAQ report that's laid out to look like the tag. I think that's. All right, let's go back. It may be just a custom version of their job tag. version of the standard width tag. But the tags that we actually put on the beams or throughout the process are a BAQ port with SSRS
Okay.
report stuff. I'm gonna have to examine. There's also, and there's QR codes on those. Up as well. Yes.
So I noticed that you got your customers came in on it to you, but do you actually have a doc package at the end that you have to provide the boat on paper?
Yes.
So
Yes, each packing slip that we ship as a customer shipment, there's a team that they do have a doc patch that they make and put in the file.
yeah, like, is it routed? Like, or are they doing it manually? Have you figured out a process to,
They're doing it manually. It is we do scan all of the job recs, job travelers into the system, attach them to the jobs. And the hard copy is what goes into that data pack. Yeah, and even though the job is 50 pieces for a beam, that's 50 travelers. Because each traveler that prints out has a serial number. And that one traveler follows the beam through its process, from fit up to final. And there are 4 pages long. 16,000 beams, 4 pages long.
How long did it take you to train?
It was just a matter of a couple weeks. It really was. We said, this is the new process, we're starting it. And interestingly, some of the people in the office said, you're never gonna be able to get so-and-so trained on how to do this. I said, yeah, we will. And he does it better than anyone else. Yeah, whenever he goes on PTO, that's when our mistakes happen. But somebody didn't follow the process. And usually following the process is really just something, if they don't enter a quantity, because when you enter a quantity, you have to tell it what serial number she is.
so it sounds like they were like customization.
There's a few, but the core of it is still all our standard.
But like other things where they was that, that one form was the only thing that was constant.
Yes.
All your,
Yes, when we moved all of these from, because it was originally all developed in Classic, back right around 2020. And when we moved to, I can't remember what version it was, 2023? Either 2022 or 2023, we made a decision to do, if we were still on prem. And we put all of our trackers in the kinetic view. And all of our entry screens stayed in Classic. And we reviewed each one, and if there was customization on it, we held it to the end, and we would slowly switch all of those to Kinetic. And then we started attacking all of the custom ones. So all of our custom entry screens and stuff, we did them one at a time and rolled them out slowly. And then all of that was done before we went to the cloud in 2024, GovCloud. And our MES is still Classic. It has one more customization change, and it's ready to browser. Everything else is switched to the browser.